The Bay Area is host to some beautiful places of peace and relaxation, awash with history.
Feel like you're in Japan. Yes, very nice.
The focus is on Japanese gardens on this edition of Equal Time.
San Jose State University, you're watching Equal Time, exploring new issues each week, giving equal time to competing points of view.
Welcome to the campus of San Jose State University and this edition of Equal Time. I'm your host, Journalism School Director Bob Rucker. Climbing curving bridges and viewing colorful koi fish, all the pleasures we can take advantage of here in the Bay Area. Two notable spots are the Japanese Friendship Garden and Hakone Gardens. Rie Fukuno takes us there.
We can find Japanese gardens everywhere in the world. Silicon Valley offers the Japanese Friendship Garden in San Jose's Kelly Park and Hakone Estate and Gardens in Saratoga.
I like Hakone Gardens because it's a great place to have fun and games.
The garden in San Jose was built as a symbol of everlasting friendship between San Jose and its sister city, Okayama, Japan, in 1965.
This garden, is an example of giving to the community. It was started with Dwight D. Eisenhower's plea to have relations, people relations with other countries. So San Jose adopted Okayama as a sister city, and they've adopted us, San Jose, as well. They have sent lanterns, and we have a gate. They also gave us some koi fish, and we have descendants of those koi fish still today.
The Japanese Friendship Garden has offered a place for many memorable events.
Actually, this is the first place where we met before, 10 years ago.
Hakone Estate and Gardens in Saratoga was created in 1916 by a wealthy American couple, Oliver and Isabel Stein. Mrs. Stein visited Fuji Hakone National Park in Japan and wanted to have a miniature version here.
Hakone is the only Japanese garden in the western United States that survived World War II. All the rest of them were destroyed.
Many historical events have taken place in here.
Former Prime Minister Hosokawa has been here celebrating the celebration. We've celebrated the 50th anniversary of the peace treaty at the end of World War II.
Hakone Gardens has won national awards.
The National Trust for Historic Preservation selected Hakone to receive their top award.
Hiro Matsunami leads a group of Japanese supporting Hakone Gardens.
We have two major roles. First role is try to help the fundraising to preserve the beautiful garden. And the second role is introduce authentic traditional Japanese culture to the local community.
Their biggest event is Hakone Matsuri, their Japanese festival.
1, 2, 3.
They have raised more than $300,000 since 2001. It's a gathering place for many communities.
We don't want to exclude any other cultures. Other side, we want to exchange many cultures. So introducing Japanese cultures, but we try to exchange other cultures too through the Hakone Garden. So this year, the Chinese event, Chinese festival, last year Persian festival, those are the really exciting opportunity in the gardens.
At the Chinese festival held in March, children introduced their lion dance.
My father passed it down to me. My late father passed it down to me, and I learned when I was 12. So my hope is to pass it down to the next generation, to him. So he, and we start with the Asian cultural dance troupe. Here, let's hear it for the Asian cultural dance troupe.
Community involvement is glowing in this garden, but Hakone and the Japanese Friendship Garden also face serious problems.
When we come back, we'll take a look at the challenges that these spectacular gardens face. Beauty comes at a price when Equal Time returns. Welcome back. We've seen how the Japanese gardens are verdant escapes from reality, but they face challenges to growing to their full potential. Rie Fukuno shows us how the gardens rely on the generosity of the community.
The Japanese gardens are always calm, tranquil, and beautiful. However, most of the Japanese gardens face serious problems. Park ranger Jane Lawson maintains the Japanese Friendship Garden.
Hi guys. We check the water temperature, the dissolved oxygen.
One year, disaster struck.
The last time we came here, there was no pond, there was no fish, and we haven't been back here since.
That was back in 2009.
Somebody had a sick fish, and maybe they didn't know it was sick, and they put it into the pond. And it had koi herpes, which is always fatal. We started losing some fish, and within 2 weeks we had lost all 400 of the fish that were here in the ponds.
Fortunately, their Friendship Garden had some baby fish in tanks. They used that opportunity to clean and restore the pond. But other challenges remain.
The challenges I think we face are just right now financial ones. There's just not enough money. Seems like parks is always kind of the bottom of the list.
She says the garden needs a larger staff.
To fix things, we have reduced budgets, and it's just become a real challenge to try and get things upgraded or things fixed.
The Japanese Friendship Garden is supported by San Jose City, but Hakone Estate and Gardens gets no money from Saratoga, its owner for nearly half a century. Back in the 1950s, their gardens had fallen into disrepair. But 5 prominent Chinese families came forward to buy the gardens.
In 1961, this opportunity came up to buy the gardens. And they saw the gardens, it had been, there were some things that needed to be done. It was overrun with poison oak, so they had it cleared, and they restored the ponds and the waterfall.
In 1966, the Chinese family sold Hakone to Saratoga City. Since then, Saratoga had maintained the garden, hiring Japanese architects. However,
the city of Saratoga ran it with one city gardener.
Hakone needed support.
Well, we started a foundation from, it was costing the city about $250,000 a year to maintain Hakone. And to really maintain Hakone successfully, we need a budget, we needed almost $1 million, $750,000 to really maintain it at the quality. Gardens like this traditionally would have I would say, 10 gardeners. We have 3. And so really building a business model that is not commercial to really generate funds for this magnificent garden such as this is quite a challenge.
Managing the committee is another challenge.
How to extend our activity and how we can have more people as a member of the supporting committee. It's one of the difficulty I'm feeling.
Their supporting members devote countless hours.
The balance arrangement of my time is one of the challenge. The daytime I'm working hard, and the nighttime or weekend I spend my time to how to help this garden, working together with my committee members.
For Matsunami, it's worth it. Hakone feels like home.
I was born in Japan and working in the United States. Sometimes I really miss my home country. Whenever I come to the garden, it helped me to remind the beautiful my home country. It's a very nice place, like my second home.
And the work to maintain the gardens is appreciated by many.
I feel like you're in Japan. Yes, very nice.
Interesting how they developed this and how they funded it and started it. So it has a lot of history.
I want her to learn that there's lots of different cultural events in San Jose and help her try and decide what she wants to study when she goes to elementary school.
It's beautiful. I've been coming here for almost 10 years, so it's really been kind of like a family part of me, you know.
Welcome back to this edition of Equal Time. Our focus today is on Japanese gardens. Let's meet our guests.
Hi, I'm Hiro Matsunami, chairman of Hakone Gardens, Japanese Supporting Committee.
Hi, my name is Firaydun Zarghami. I'm a member of the Persian New Year Supporting Committee of Hakone Japanese Gardens.
Lon Saavedra, CEO of the Hakone Foundation for Hakone Estate and Gardens in Saratoga.
Hello, Randy Adams with the City of San Jose, supervisor at Kelly Park and the Japanese Friendship Garden.
Hello, I'm Rie Fukuno. I'm a producer of this story, and I'm a journalism graduate student.
Very good. Thank you all for being here. You know, most people understand or have been to a Japanese garden, but here's a key question. What do Japanese gardens mean to the community?
Well, for Hakone is the oldest Asian estate, retreat, and gardens in the Western Hemisphere, as designated by the National Trust for Historic Preservation. So we're a natural global heritage site for people of all cultures. And that's why we're so honored to have the Japan Matsuri every year, the Chinese Lunar New Year every year, the Persian New Year celebration, and it's a celebration of all cultures. Silicon Valley is the most diverse population center in the world, and it's an ideal situation to celebrate the emerging global civilizations that our children and grandchildren will be living in, right here in Saratoga at Hakone.
I would imagine San Jose agrees.
Well, certainly, you know, the Japanese Friendship Garden is really a symbol of the sister city relationship we have with the people of Okayama, Japan. You know, so and Japanese community right here in San Jose. As well, it's a place where many citizens of San Jose make memories of a lifetime from the weddings and special photography they do at the park. It is a place where I think they build memories, and a place where certainly the mission of Parks and Rec is to provide a respite from the rush and hustle of our everyday lives, and the tranquility there, I think, is valuable to all our citizens.
I think we all can relate to tranquility. We like to have more of that in our lives. But maintaining a facility like that is not easy, I would imagine. Hiro, how difficult is it to maintain?
Yeah, definitely. The fundraising is one of the challenge. And I'm in charge of the Hakone Gardens Japanese Supporting Committee. And we Japanese, we want to preserve a beautiful garden as long as possible. So every year we have a fundraising event. It's called Hakone Matsuri, Lon mentioned. Matsuri means a festival. So our supporting committee started from the 1999, and the last 13 years we successfully get about 340,000 donations to the Hakone Gardens and Foundation. So it's an amazing achievement.
So you're a very good fundraiser. And Fred,
I really appreciate many communities, Japanese companies, local restaurants, grocery stores, and many other peoples. Yeah.
Fred, that sounds like a friendly competition there.
Yeah, it is. Actually, it's the amazing part of the Hakone Garden is their global reach. That's what they specifically reach out to the Persian community in the Bay Area, and I wanted to celebrate the Persian New Year, or the Nowruz, that we started last year. although it was part fundraising, but the important part of it was also introducing the Persian culture and specifically the most important celebration of that culture at a beautiful place like Hakone Garden, because it happens right at the equinox, which is all the flowers comes, and the Japanese, I mean, the Hakone Garden was the best set for that. So
sounds beautiful.
yeah.
And you mentioned earlier too that we've actually had Hollywood producers and film crews at your location.
Unfortunately, in the entire month of January and February 2005, in the dead of winter, we hosted Columbia Pictures, where they filmed the 3-time Oscar-winning movie Memoirs of a Geisha was filmed at Hakone. Approximately a third of the last section of that movie was filmed there, and because there were so many props and things like that, people don't recognize it immediately, but it was a magnificent experience for us, and it was helped us really save the gardens. We've spent millions restoring the gardens, and that was certainly a great boost for us.
Very good. Now, how can San Jose, I don't think you guys actually compete, but how can San Jose stay equal or well prepared to offer these type of opportunities?
Well, you know, the Japanese Friendship Garden is supported by the general fund of the city of San Jose, but as you know, all municipalities are hard pressed to keep up with budget deficits. We try to offset some of the costs of the gardens through our fees for weddings. We have, I think we've had 55 weddings in the last 5 years, so we have about 10 weddings a year. And San Jose, the PRNS Capital Unit is just renovated and in the process of renovating the tea house within the garden. And that will be ready for receptions where you can have your wedding and your reception right there in the garden, starting in August or September of 2013.
Sounds like a great opportunity. Can you generate enough revenue, though, to keep it at the level you prefer, or do you find that donations are good, strong, not? You have government support, you have donation support. Is it where you want it to be?
Well, generally, right now there's not a nonprofit support organization as the Happy Hollow Foundation does for Happy Hollow within the Kelly Park. But we do try to look at other ways to raise money. We have a wishing well inside the park where people can make donations that way, as well as one popular thing, especially for the kids, or the fish feeders we have for the koi fish. And that raises an annual amount of money to help defray some of the costs of maintaining the gardens. We have a trust fund that we deposit that into to support the gardens.
Very good. And Rie, you're a graduate student and you wanted to do this story. Why were you interested in doing this?
Yeah, it was 1 year ago. I went to Hakone Garden to shoot short films, and with my friend, I was shooting films, and one of my friends told me the story that her husband's company got all the koi fish from one Japanese garden because they gave up keeping the koi fish because it costs money. So I was surprised to hear that, and I searched about the Japanese gardens, and I noticed that many of the Japanese gardens are facing similar problems, so I wanted to help.
And they mentioned tranquility and serenity. Mm-hmm. That's why you went there to do a story, to shoot something, and now you're developing a film or a documentary?
Now I'm making a documentary film.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, we're looking forward to seeing that. I wonder if there's any questions you have for our guests, since we have all of the firepower here right now.
Is there any good feedback from the community?
Feedback from the community?
Yeah.
From the Persian community, since we started having the Nowruz celebration, the feedback has been amazingly positive. Just to give you an idea, it was a rainy day pouring down, and usually when it pours down in Saratoga, not too many people will want to go out. But here it is, over 600 people showed up for this celebration.
600, wow.
And they did not want to leave. I mean, the rain stopped a little bit later on during the day, but people did not want to leave. There was a lot of coverage on the media. It was talk of the Persian community that they really appreciated. They didn't know about the Hakone Gardens. They were surprised that this garden actually is hosting this event. So it has really a positive impact for the Persian community in the Bay Area, which I think there are over 100,000 people here.
Very good.
Yeah.
Do you ever have concerns, though, with so many people showing up unexpectedly, with security concerns, and how do you maintain a safe environment?
Well, we've been blessed, but yes, we do we always alert the local sheriff and people like that, but we've never, ever had an incident at Hakone. So there's something about the Japanese garden and just the whole beauty. I mean, here you are in this masterpiece of architectural and botanical beauty, that there's a transforming experience where you can really internalize all that sense of harmony and tranquility around you. So we haven't had problems, but we do make sure that we let the proper authorities know each time. But normally it's a place where people come to experience, and that's just part of the real organic nature of the Garden of Peace and an oasis of tranquility such as Hakone.
And I would imagine the city has the same experience. People, do you get feedback from people around the area?
Well, certainly, we've gotten positive feedback, especially with the reintroduction of the koi fish into the pond last May, where we had a ceremony to reintroduce the koi after there was a koi herpes outbreak. We lost most of our fish population, and we reintroduced those after we put in a new ozone filtration system into the pond. We had a lot of positive response from the community at the ceremony. But you mentioned, Bob, you mentioned the security. The park rangers are stationed there at Kelly Park, and we have 3 of those rangers that maintain the fish population, as well as mainly their job is interpretive, because we really have not had, it's a family park. The children's park lies within Kelly Park as well. They're mainly there for interpretive and other informational services, but they are our security folks as well.
Very good. You have a foundation, and you're supported by government funds, correct? Let's talk first about foundation. What does that mean to the public? Do they get involved? How do they get involved? Do corporations, are they invited to be involved?
Well, excellent question. One, our empathies are with you in terms of having, Hakone was purchased by the city of Saratoga in the year 1966 and was run until 1984 by the actual city itself, hands-on. From 84 until 2000, it was operated by a municipal commission. And it was very short-term leases, and it was very precarious because, frankly, it's difficult in the general public's mind to give money to a government entity. That's why we launched the foundation in 2000, but it was a daunting task. We received no public funds to operate the gardens, and it's a matter of really bringing the community in. People, the philanthropic impulse is very different than raising money for, say, a business venture. Instead of a business venture, people are looking for the checkbook and their wallet. In philanthropy, it's the heart. You're appealing to someone's heart. People want to be a part of a community, and that's what we really enlist, and it takes time. The foundation is just over 12 years old, and we're just really starting to ramp up. Initially, you have 18 acres being taken by one city gardener, and now we have a crew of 3 professional-aged Japanese gardeners that takes years and years to learn this art. And in Japan, as we turn, a garden on Hakone side would have at least a dozen gardeners. So we have a long ways to go, but we're very grateful for the public support. You mentioned the koi. That was actually Texas Instruments that provided us with a tremendous, very valuable contribution of koi. But yes, it's a challenge to keep it going. The koi pond is about 40,000 gallons, and it's a challenge just to keep that thing clean all the time.
So if you gave me a round figure of what it costs to run the facility, everything, what would the public need to know?
The minimum, just to keep the doors open, just to keep the beauty at it is right now at this level, is about almost $750,000, right in that area. That's bare minimum.
$750,000.
Yes.
All right, is that the same experience for the city of San Jose?
Well, the city now runs the garden with 1 full-time gardener and a part-time maintenance assistant, but the Kelly Park maintenance folks do support that as well. So if you looked at just the personnel cost, you're looking in the neighborhood of $175,000 to $200,000 on top of utilities and other, maintenance and repair costs. But we're not nearly the $750,000 expense per year.
Now, do you do fundraising? Like for the university, I have to do it for my department. Do you go out to the community? Do you go out to Silicon Valley to ask for support?
Well, we certainly ask for support in different ways. We don't have a fundraising arm or a fundraising section principally to raise funds. But as a matter of fact, I just left a meeting with the Rangers. They were organizing a volunteer and docent organization.
So, as you all do at Kelly Park, we host weddings. We're an event venue. And the only way we were going to generate the funds is for the community to have family events, business offsite meeting retreats, those kinds of things. And we even had a bar mitzvah at Hakone. I'm very proud of that. So that if only in Silicon Valley can you have a bar mitzvah in a traditional Japanese garden.
Well, I was going to suggest maybe we should get in touch with the White House and tell them this is where you need to come. You want people to relax, negotiate, get something done. But are you able to attract that diversity learning experience in San Jose?
Well, you know, what we're trying to do in terms of fundraising, Bob, I think is operate more like a business. So again, we don't have a nonprofit arm that does fundraising, but we're proud to be opening the tea house inside the garden, which has been closed for many years, and we've just renovated, or in the process of renovating that, so that will be available for receptions, and you know, we're trying to add value to then support it and operate more like a business to help with the funds. But the community is very supportive of the gardens, and you know, certainly in San Jose we have probably the most diverse community I can imagine. And to a person there, have gotten many compliments about the value of the garden to the community, and some of those memories that they've made. We have many of the wedding portraits, even if they're not having their ceremony there. The gardens are a beautiful backdrop, and my guess is there's quite a few albums around San Jose where the gardens are hosting their memories of a lifetime.
Absolutely. I remember going to a wedding there when I first came here. We have a few more minutes. Let's talk about your culture and why this was important to you.
So as a Japanese living in the United States, like I feel that one of my missions is introducing our culture, because when I was in Japan, I met a lot of people from all over the world, because my mother was is running their Japanese language school. So at the home party, like different, I ate different food from different cultures, and I enjoyed it. And now I'm in here, and it's so diverse in here, and it's good to exchange cultures, and maybe it may help the children in this area to learn how to appreciate different cultures.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In a comfortable, inviting setting where you can talk honestly about different cultures. Any last thoughts, gentlemen, before we say goodbye?
Let's see. Good question. Getting the people's attention to the Hakone Garden is very important. So in order to do that, in addition to the fundraising, we are introducing the Japanese culture, such as let's see, the kabuki music band or no performance. Let's see.
We're going to have to look forward to that, but I'm afraid we're about out of time. This sounds very interesting, and I feel relaxed. So I thank you, gentlemen. I thank you, ladies. And I thank you all for joining us. Come on back for another edition of Equal Time.